Hi everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Absolutely Pickled. Lee, again, you're still up in Oregon with the new facility, but who do you have as our special guest this week?
Yeah, this is episode 2 in our new series of random strangers off the street. And still at my good friend Roshan's indoor pickleball place in Beaverton, Oregon at Jumbo's. And we've got I don't know how to introduce this person. She's like an OG in the Pacific Northwest. She's like one of the first people, she was probably one of the first females who gave me a shot in pro pickleball to play with. She's a phenomenal pro pickleball player, amazing instructor.
So she's a charity worker then. She's a charity.
Yeah, she's a charity worker. Yes. Yes. And yeah, she's very good. You know, she gives 50% of her money to charity. And when charity's not working, she gives it to Destiny. No, I'm kidding. No, really good friend, amazing human being, great pickleball player, great coach, and Joy Leising. Happy to bump into her in my Oregon travels.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes.
Well, welcome to the show, and thank you for joining us. And I feel, again, totally out of my depth because you guys are all pro pickleball players, and I am your garden variety rec player. I mean, I coach a bit, but, you know, I'm nowhere near your level, which is why when we get questions from viewers and listeners, I'm learning as much as they are when Lee's answering them or you're answering them. So we'll get to that in a bit. But first of all, let's talk about your journey. So did you come from a tennis background or did you?
Yeah, I played tennis since I was 6 years old and played college tennis. And then I played a little fast pitch softball and a few seasons of rugby, which my tennis coach did not like. So that aggressive side of me.
Oh my God. Yeah. Women's rugby. What position?
The hooker.
Okay. That's awesome. How tall are you? Because the hooker's usually quite short.
5'4".
Oh yes, you're little. Oh
yeah.
Bless. But you had two big props next to you to hold you up. Oh, that's awesome. Look at you. So, okay. So all around, you know, established athlete. Badass. Where at college? Which college did you go to?
I went to Lewis and Clark in Portland.
Okay, cool. And so are you from Portland, Oregon? Is that where you grew up?
No, I'm from the Midwest, like Chicago and Minneapolis. Okay. But I've lived in Portland since 97.
Yeah. So you sort of came out to college and then you didn't really leave and you stayed in the area. Is that kind of how it went?
Yeah.
And then how did you make the transition into pickleball?
A friend of mine invited me to this gym in Vancouver, Washington to play, and I hated it. The ball didn't bounce. I was swinging big, and I said, "This is dumb." Then she somehow signed me up for this Canadian Nationals pickleball tournament.
Okay.
A bunch of tennis people were like, "Let's go for a girls' weekend," and she's like, "By the way, I signed you guys up to play some singles." I'm like, "What? I don't know how to play. I don't know how to keep score." My tennis brain was like, I can't show up. And so we played a little bit. And then we went to the tournament, laughed a lot. We're timing games. We're like, thought it was hilarious that they were 15, 30-minute games. And then ended up getting third in singles and got hooked.
I've heard this story so much. These tennis players that are really good just pick it up and then they play their first tournament is nationals and they win it or they come like in the medal. And I'm like, that didn't happen to me.
But this was back before pickleball was cool. Like, I mean, it was like 13 years ago.
Right. It's a familiar story.
With smooth paddles.
Yeah, smooth paddles, no gym grits. Floors, jump ball. Yeah. I don't know if people know what that is.
Horrible shiny lighting.
Yeah, but it was in Canada.
So awesome. And so then you just kind of, that was when your sort of introduction to it, but when did you kind of really get going and go, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it full time?
After that, like maybe I was like, okay, if I play another tournament, like I've really got to practice. Like this is not okay. And then I just played a lot of local tournaments. I think my first big tournament was probably like Arizona State Games or something like that when I was like, oh, let's go outside and see what that's like. So probably after a year of like playing and then getting some partners that I got really hooked. Yeah.
And that's when you met Lee-ish?
No, I
I was
moved to, yeah, you were playing for a while though before I moved to Oregon.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I met Lee.
And I'm so sorry, I feel sorry for everybody that has to hang out with this woman, but
I bet I met Lee in 2016 or 15.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
I'm gauging it when I had my child, just one child.
You were pregnant.
I met you before I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you produced the perfect human being and thought, right, I'm done. That's it. Don't need any more.
She is perfect.
Yeah, I didn't want my rating to, go up or down.
No.
Based on the
I always
commentary.
laugh at people that have
last
three.
week's commentary?
I laugh at people. I have 2 kids, but I laugh at people that have 3 because I've got 2 boys and they were like, are you going to go for the girl? I'm like, no, the world was made for a party of 4. I only have 2 hands. He's my husband, not doing it. And even my husband wanted to go for the girl. I'm like, no, not happening. But you apparently have how old is she now?
She's 6. So.
Oh, nice. Fun times. Cool. And has she got a pickleball paddle in her hand yet?
I do a kids pickleball yoga class on Saturdays, which is super fun. So she's like really into that. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay, well, we are going to jump in now, if you wouldn't mind, because.
But actually, I'll tell you a fun fact.
Okay,
right?
good.
So not many people know this. So Joy and I played this one tournament in Timber Hill. Was it Timber Hill? No, Centralia.
Oh, Centralia.
And that's where I got my first golden pickle. Was on the
yeah. I didn't even know what she was talking about.
Centralia
I didn't even know what she was talking about. And she said, we were describing it, and she said, "That's a golden pickle." I'm like, "Oh my god, I've never even heard of it. I've never even seen one done."
I mean, granted, we were playing like 2 blind people. They were terrible.
Yeah.
But we did.
That's a good thing.
That was
a hard thing to get.
That is a hard thing to get, even against.
No, I didn't even know one.
Centralia, we played a lot of indoor tournaments. Yeah.
With Joe's balls. That was a fun time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
But no, we played quite a bit together, and she's seen me at my very best and worst.
And right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Right-handed, good.
Yeah.
We have too many left-handers around us as well.
I love them.
Yeah, they are good. They are good. It's fun to play with, but I get so confused on the stacking. I really get confused. Well, it's when the side out happens, then I'm like, which side?
Odd and even.
What? I know, but it sounds simple to you, but like some of us, it's a bit more challenging.
I'm so sorry. This is where we'll be a diva. We're like, oh, we have refs to tell us where we're supposed to go.
Well, I couldn't even hear what you were saying just then.
I said we have refs that tell us where we're supposed to go.
That's
we
right.
don't have to pay attention.
Yes, exactly. I don't have that.
You used to lose points for that. You used to.
Yeah, and I do believe I was on the wrong side just yesterday when we were playing league. We'd stacked, and I realized so my partner was getting targeted on, and she was on the left. It happened to be on the left, and every time she was on the left, I couldn't get the ball right. So I started to stack so that I could get her over, and I was on the left, which was more successful. But after we got a side out, I'm like, which side am I supposed to be on? And it's very confusing, and I'm pretty sure we got it wrong. But anyway, it's only league play, so nobody cares. Okay, we're going to jump in, if you don't mind, to Dear AP. Okay, and this is when we get questions from listeners, and we have you guys answer them, and I get to listen in and learn as well. So the first question, wrong one.
It's really all about coaching advice for Pen when she goes to
It is.
Nice.
Totally,
I like it.
Selfish Pen's podcast. Okay, here we go. So Laura from Mobile, Alabama, she says, what is the best quality to look for in a coach for pickleball?
A pulse.
A pulse.
You want them to
Sense
be
of humor, I'd say. Sense of humor. But what's the what do you need primarily? Any ideas?
Do you want to take this one?
I guess I see like the differences between coaches if that coach can adapt to like what that player needs and like really see their game, you know, not just like this is the way I teach and I'm going to teach everyone that same way. I think someone that has like a good sense of humor and like personalities mix.
Yeah. No, I think that's really true, actually, you know, because unlike tennis, where the technique, if you don't have a good technique, you're not going to maybe have success. There's a lot of people that do have different ways of playing the ball, and I don't think you want to take that away from them if they're having success. Do you know what I mean? in pickleball?
No, yeah, no. Like I think my pet peeve is when someone is, they've been playing for a couple of years and they want to take lessons, and they're like, well, the coach I was taking from told me I need to do this and hit the ball this way, and it's like you can't change someone's playing style, and especially an adult,
Yeah.
right? And especially if they're 2.5 to 3.5, they're not, and that's sort of their ceiling, 3.5, low 4.0. You're not going to change their playing style.
Right.
So you've got to go with the flow and go with their playing style and maximize their potential within their ability versus saying, no, you have to have a Western African grip and do this, or, it's just like.
What's a West African grip?
Somebody asked me what grip I use for my forehand. I'm like, oh, Eastern African with a slight twist. They're like, ah. And I just walked away.
I just found out what, because I'm remodeling this place and I've ordered a king bed, but there was a California king and then there was an Eastern king. And I'm like, what the hell's an Eastern king? And it's wider. Didn't even know. So
yeah,
every day's an
because
education.
it's an Eastern king is most popular for people who go through fast food drive-throughs and supersize everything.
Got it. So width, not depth. Okay.
Because it shortens them and widens them.
Perfect. Well, Laura, there is your answer when you're looking for a coach or a bed. Now we're moving on to question number 2. This is from Jeffrey from Ottawa, and apparently he knows you, or he's seen you, Joy, because he says, Joy, I have seen your two-handed backhand. What is the best way to learn how to hit it?
The best way to learn how to hit it.
If you haven't seen Joy's two-handed backhand, it's a freaking rocket. And like we got to play a bit last night, and I've got a couple of in the shower this morning. I'm like, oh, that's Joy right there. That's Joy right there.
So some people go for cupping, but you go for Joy.
No, it really. Like, I got in the shower. I was like, I don't think I went cupping last night. No, it was just Joy. Joy tattoos.
Well, I could start a new therapy.
Yeah,
the Joy effect.
Cupping by Joy.
Which is ironic because her name's Joy and she's inflicting pain. So joy and pain, like sunshine and rain.
Her backhand is deadly.
I mean, I think it's just a lot of people I've been teaching like a two-handed backhand, or I see their backhand isn't as strong, and I'm like, if you just put your left hand on that for a righty, to just kind of control it or direct it, that's probably going to give you more stabilization.
Yeah.
I do a two-handed backhand because I did in tennis, and it's just natural. But I think there's certain shot choices. I hit a two-hand, and I've developed a one-hand because I need more reach. Yeah. I think that. So I think when the ball's up high, to put it away. If it's not going to come back, that's a good spot, or to control it, or if you feel like you don't have as not much strength there.
Yeah. I have a one-handed backhand, and it's pretty good, and I like my backhand. But I have found adding that hand for a cross court, just push away, just to give it a bit more oomph down there.
But it is like, I think a lot of tennis players, like, this is a mistake that people make with the two-handed backhand, is they wanna follow through.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not. It's like the velocity that Joy can generate from here to here, and then like in this much space. Right. It's pretty impressive because there is no follow through. Right, because she's ready for the next shot, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what people are like, oh, I love my two-handed backhand because I can hit the crap out of the ball. But then it's like, well, if it comes back, they're like,
you have to be ready.
Through, and they're like, well, now what?
Yeah.
So it's nice to know this, because Joy, if I ever get on a court with you, you'll never see a backhand. Now I know this. It's basically.
No, I know it, and I kept giving it to her yesterday.
And you still keep doing it?
Yeah, no, you're like,
feel good.
And I'm sorry, did you say you have played together in a tournament?
Yeah.
That was when you got. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, we played quite a bit together. Like maybe 5 or 6 tournaments, right? Yeah, not more. Yeah.
Okay.
I need 4 more years. And
I was just gonna say you're not there yet.
4 more years. Can you wait for me?
I've already I've saved the date already.
Okay.
Yeah.
20.
As soon as you turn
2028.
I was going to say, when's your birthday? Because I found out, I didn't know, but because I was confused because Lee was playing senior pros, and I'm like, you're not 50, but she can play this year. So when is your birthday? Do you have a?
July. So I'm actually pickleball 46 right now.
Got it. Okay, cool. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, well, that's the end of Dear AP. And now we have finally the fun questionnaire, 8 questions that we're going to ask you, Joy. And you just tell us the first thing that comes to your head. Doesn't have, it can be pickleball related, it cannot. It's just the first thing that you think of. And we get some quite funny answers sometimes, but there's no pressure. You don't have to be funny. It's just the first thing that comes to your head. So without further ado, here is the inside the AP studio, we call it, questionnaire. Joy, what is your favorite word?
Gosh, I was using the F word a lot last night on the court, probably because I could and I didn't have my 6-year-old there and it was after work. So we were using that a lot. I wouldn't say that's my favorite word though. That came to mind.
Okay. If you think of it later on, just let us know.
Footwork.
It was
Footwork.
That F word.
Okay, so on the flip side, what is your least favorite word?
My least favorite word.
Or just a word you don't like. Doesn't have to be your least favorite, but you know.
Like, is a word that someone says and you're like, ugh. Like, for me, it's moist. I hate the word moist.
You hate the word moist.
I hate that word.
Runner up is mine.
Yeah.
One of them.
Loser.
Loser.
Loser. Probably like something around like getting old or whatever,
Yes.
right? Like
Yeah. Or,
okay.
age.
4 years.
Geriatric or something.
But you know what? You're in
says.
4 years. You're gonna
in
thank
4 years, you're
yourself.
gonna embrace
those
it.
things, like medical
gonna
terms,
change.
like
Yeah.
It's gonna change though. You're gonna be a
Yeah,
young
you
buck.
embrace it. I'm
Okay.
embracing.
Glad you're 50.
Like,
good.
Okay, what is a noise that you love to hear?
Gosh, I love the pickleball noise, the sound of that. I love my daughter's laugh. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking you might go with daughter's laugh. I was going to prompt you on that actually because I love the sound of laughing babies, and the popping of a cork, but that's another story. What is a noise that you hate?
Like a lot of times it's cold here, right? And I'm backing on the driveway and my brakes are like squeaking. I don't know if it's like something with my hybrid car, but it was like, I hate that sound.
It's going, I don't want to go. It's too cold out. Okay. What profession, other than the one you have currently, would you like to attempt? And it has to be something you've never tried before.
I mean, this would be a dream. I would never probably be good at this, but I was always like, could I be a beach volleyball player?
We just had
but
a
I
beach.
would not. I'm too short.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you could be a setter, I suppose.
but we could work on your jump.
My jump, it needs to be.
We have to introduce her to Gina Urango. We just had Gina Urango, who's a US national beach volleyball player on the show a couple of episodes ago. Okay, that's a good one. And being on the beach, I mean, who cares if you're any good?
Yeah,
you know, let's
I
play on
might
the beach. What, on the flip side, is a profession that you would definitely not like to attempt?
I mean, I think something related to like plumbing and dealing with people's toilets and like
Oh yeah,
dealing with
You don't want to clean out like porta potties?
No, I don't want to clean out porta potties. Like, yeah, anything related to that. Yeah,
Sewage.
Those people are saints, but no.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good answer. Okay, so we've kind of covered this, but favorite curse word, just to check.
I mean, yeah, it's probably the F word. It's probably just like freeing my mouth when I'm not around
You
children.
can say it.
Yeah, I can say it.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can fucking say it.
I can fucking say it.
Yes.
For fuck's sake, would you fucking say it?
Right.
Okay, got it. Final question. If heaven exists and you find yourself arriving at the pearly gates, what would you like to hear God say?
I think I thought it was when like, okay, you can relax now. Like, or like, congratulations, you know.
You can relax. It's
like,
because you've got a 6-year-old.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah, exactly.
You lived a good life, you know.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Lee's was, you know, you got a, well, actually mine was you got a wild card entry and yours was you were a lucky
loser.
Yeah. Well, that's what they will say, not what we'd like them to say.
But the best ones have been from Maurice and Alec.
Yeah.
Alex Hamner. They're like, oh, thank God you're here. We need a fourth.
Nice.
No, he didn't say thank God. He goes, thank me you're here. We need a fourth.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Didn't I do well?
Don't mind me.
I only brought you up here because we need a fourth.
Yeah.
Well, that is the end of our Absolute Pickle podcast with Joy. And Joy, what's your last name again?
Leising.
Leising. And how, is there anything else we want to ask Joy before we leave?
Absolutely. How can people follow you? Where can they find out about your lessons, camps, clinics, where you're going to be playing next, who you're going to be hitting with the ball next, where they can sign up for the new Cupping by Joy series that you're going to start off?
I know.
Where can they follow you?
I have a website, joyleisingpickleball.com. And then you could also follow me on Instagram, Joy of Pickleball. Yeah,
Oh, that's great. Joy of Pickleball. Your name works so well.
I know.
That's
I'm
great.
embracing it now.
Yeah, no, embrace it. I
And
think
in 4
you
years,
need
she's gonna be geriatric Joy.
geriatric
Oh, let's love it.
Yay.
with limping Lee Whitwell. Or wheelchair Whitwell.
Yeah, that's me. Wheels up.
Hopefully
Wheels
not.
up,
Stay
here
on
we
your
go.
feet. I need you
Hey,
in 4
well,
years.
super nice to meet you, Joy, and thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast. And we will see everybody next week.
Awesome.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from her. Goodbye.